In this video, I'm going to explain why your calorie deficit isn't working. So my name's Adam Bonnell. I'm an online fat loss professional, and I specialize in hormonal priming, body recomposition, higher level forms of nutrition through metabolism manipulation called metabolic priming. I've worked with over 100 men in the past who have been struggling to lose weight, struggling to get lean, and in this video, I'm going to explain where a bunch of those men go wrong and why your calorie deficit just quite isn't working anymore. So if you're watching this video, you've probably been trying to get lean for some time now. You've been following this simple eat less, do more category, and you're kind of spinning your wheels, right? It's no longer working. Maybe you have lost the initial 20, 30, 40 pounds, but now you're kind of stuck spinning your wheels, and now anytime you eat a little bit more food, you just kind of gain it right back. So what this is a simple metabolic adaptation within your body, right? So what you have to understand is the body adapts very quickly. The body is 10 times smarter than you and I will ever be. And so as you start to undereat, your metabolism starts to downregulate in the form of starvation mode, right? Downregulate the metabolism in the form of you actually starving, right? It's a survival mechanism of the human body. So it's not always in the form of calorie deficit this, calorie deficit that. It's not always that you need to eat less. You need to be supplying your body with nutrition to get the correct hormones. So a lot of the men that I come across are scared of carbohydrates in specifically. They're scared to raise carbohydrates. They think carbohydrates are the devil. And in a lot of cases, yes, if you eat too many carbohydrates, you will gain weight. You will gain more body fat in particular, right? But if you get the correct amount of carbohydrates, there's a synergistic effect that actually happens with your hormones and a synergistic effect that actually happens within your body, right? So when you break down the metabolism, 60% of your entire metabolism is the basal metabolic rate, which is breathing, blood flow, sleeping, organ function. What carbohydrates do is this simple energy mechanism to provide you with those simple mechanisms, right? So understanding that one, a calorie deficit isn't always going to be the answer to your question, to your problems, right? Understanding more on the lines of what you need to eat specifically in the form of protein, carbs, and fats to make sure that your body doesn't go into a hyperstarvation mode and downregulate your overall energy expenditure. So even like within TDEE, right? Your total daily energy expenditure, even that starts to downregulate in the form of active energy. So like if you're doing an hour of cardio and you're burning 400 calories, right? 10 weeks later, if you're still doing an hour of cardio, that 400 calories actually gets down-regulated because the body adapts very quickly. What a lot of people fail to recognize is the overall adaptation that the body occurs and accrues over time when you're doing a calorie deficit, right? So the stimulation of, your calorie deficit starts to shorten over time. Not only that, with your active energy expenditure, when you're starting to undereat in calories, your body starts to adapt and starts to burn less calories at rest, right? Which means that your overall thermic effect of food starts to lower, your overall NEAT, which is non-energy activity thermogenesis, starts to lower, which is how your body burns calories at rest. And so understanding this, you understand that it's not always about calorie deficit, right? You need to understand more along the lines of what you need to eat particularly, right? These fad diets out there like keto, carnivore, people who follow low carb, those are great for like the beginners who want to lose the initial 30, 40 pounds. But you put yourself in a place of, diet fatigue, where your body starts to get fatigued over time the more you start to go in a calorie deficit. What you need to understand is that it's not always about calorie deficit. It's not always about doing more cardio. It's about giving the body particularly what it needs to keep the energy functions high, to keep the thermic effect of food high, to keep the NEAT high, in non-energy activity thermogenesis high. And so understanding that you can actually eat more in a lot of cases and usually burn a lot more as well, right? So it's not always about just drastically reducing your calories to a bare minimum. And if you've been stuck in a weight loss plateau for some time, I'm guessing that one, if you go out to eat with some friends or some family members, go on vacation, whatever it may be, or like go any over the current calorie amount that you're currently eating, you start to gain weight. So one, that it's a clear sign that your metabolism has downregulated over time and it's no longer allowing your body to burn food, right? And so when you kind of break down the body in general and how the body really works, the body wants to protect you, right? It wants to protect you from starvation. So it's the simple mechanism of starvation that downregulates all those hormonal effects to put yourself in a place of just metabolic purgatory, right? Where your body's no longer burning food. So there's a lot of stigma out there too of calories in versus calories out, but it goes a lot deeper than that. Yes, like in the initial weight loss, calories in versus calories out is fantastic, but once you start to get into very low calories, like below 2,000 to the 18. I've even seen some people come to me at like 1,500 calories. Your body starts to adapt to that, right? And now anytime you eat a little bit more food, you gain it right back. So you're probably facing, problems like digestive issues, maybe a little bit of cognitive decline. Why cognitive decline is important to understand in this factor as well is because carbohydrates are the main energy source of the brain, because glucose quite literally runs your brain, and also glucose in the form of carbohydrates helps reduce adrenal fatigue, helps reduce inflammation, and a bunch of other aspects as well to put yourself in a better place of actual recovery. Right? So understanding that, one, it's not all about calorie deficit. It's not all about how low you can get your carbohydrates. And it's not all about how much you can do. It's about understanding how much you need to do. Because you could be putting all the effort in the wrong places and make zero progress. But if you hyper-target the areas that make the most sense, you can do minimal effort and have amazing progress. So what I do for my clients specifically is I put their body in a place for longevity, right? Put their body in a place where they have calories in the form of like a calorie bank per day to eat, that they can go out with friends and family members. They can go on vacations, and we set certain parameters so they can stay within those parameters and stay lean and hold their physique for longer. What most people want out of everything is just longevity with a great physique, longevity with a great health. And what they fail to do is put their body in the correct position to just do that, right? So if you are stuck in a kind of a fat loss plateau and you've been under 2,000 calories for a while, one, you need to understand that you need to give your body a little bit more food to rest, a little bit more food to recovery, a little bit more food to reduce adrenal fatigue, inflammation, and overall cortisol levels, right? Because a lot of people fail to recognize how important cortisol is in the body. Yes, there's certain aspects of cortisol that is beneficial from like more of like a training perspective and more like a muscular breakdown perspective. But from a fat loss perspective and a muscle gain perspective, we need to keep the cortisol levels low, because cortisol levels prohibit your body from losing body fat and also prohibit your body from gaining muscle tissue. And when people go hypercaloric for an extended period of time, I've seen people, eat under 2,000 calories, 1,800 calories for months and months, some people even years, and they're wondering why they're kind of just stuck at that rate. You need to prepare your body to burn more food, to stay comfortable for longer. There's a sweet spot with your calories that when you stay there for an extended period of time, your body starts to adapt, your body starts to burn more calories, and you can sustain a better physique, sustain health at more calories for longer. And that's what people want. They just don't understand how to get there. And it's all within the macronutrients, the protein, carbs, and fats, and understanding the thermic effect of food, understanding your daily exercise energy expenditure, and understanding NEAT in general is where a lot of people fail to recognize that it's not all about calorie deficit, right? It's how your body burns food. So if you're struggling to get lean and you've been doing this for some time now, maybe a couple months, maybe even a couple years, right? I would love to sit down with you and see if it's a good fit for us to work together. I work with 95 men currently who are making amazing progress. You can check out some of the testimonials, the transformations on my YouTube channel. There's a ton of them. And I even have a full breakdown of what metabolic priming is, and I'll go ahead and link it in the description of this video. It's my entire free breakdown of metabolic priming as a whole to get you a clear example of how to prepare your body for a cut, how to prepare your body for more longevity, and how to prepare your metabolism to be able to eat more food and lose more body fat. Because, a lot of people on the internet right now who watch my channel think that it's a myth that my clients aren't eating thousands of more calories and losing body fat. But what we do is we manipulate their metabolism through correct nutrition, and they lose a bunch of weight, gain a bunch of muscle, get leaner by eating more food, right? So there'll be a link in the description for you guys to sign up for a time you can kind of chat with me and my team. Be more than happy to sit down, explain where you're at, exactly pinpoint where you're trying to get, and let's bridge the gap on how we're going to get there and where you're going wrong, and let's get you out of this calorie deficit. So this link is going to be below, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out the free metabolic priming training link below, but I'll see you guys next time.